Good morning.
Goeiemôre.
Interesting morning. Good morning to you. Good morning on that side. Yeah, we're a bit phased this morning, or what should we say? We're a bit blurry. I don't know why. Guys and girls, it's that time of the morning. It's gone just 7 o'clock, early morning in New Zealand. We had a lot of rain last night, eh? It really was
And thunder. Did you
hectic.
hear the
Oh yes,
thunder?
I saw the
It's
thunder. I
actually
was actually
nice.
awake and saw the flashes in the sky, so that wasn't bad at all. Yeah, I don't know why. Sorry about the visual side of things. You wanted to see me in my most beautiful, but I doubt that it's going to be this morning. So
I think it's that light because I'm not that blurry.
you think it's this light? If I take the light away,
There we
I
go.
think we better. Let's put the light off then.
Yeah.
All right, we can try it this way, but now you look like a glow stick.
It's okay.
Yeah, we're chatting this morning about the health situation in New Zealand, and we're all here to tell you. I want to say, let's keep it positive. I want to be very positive about this morning. So, I had the unfortunate incident where I had to go for, I would say, a bit of an intervention. Is that the right word? So
Yes.
I had something, an abscess on my bum, and I went to the local doctor. He gave me some antibiotics, and that did not work. And I went back on the Saturday to the local doctor, which was a South African guy, and he gave me different antibiotics, way stronger than what the first ones was. And he said to me, if this doesn't work within 24 hours, I must report to the local hospital. So Sunday came, the bum still looked the same, and I decided, no, let's go to the local hospital. They also said, go around about 2 o'clock in the afternoon because then it's quiet down there. That you probably haven't been to the local hospital in quite a while. I should invite him and take him down there.
Oh, you were just unfortunate.
It wasn't quiet down there. Yeah. We went to Tauranga, what can I say, emergency ER area. They were busy. There's an absence of anybody at any of the windows. You didn't know where to go. Outside the place, there was about 5 people, homeless people, that had their stuff all over the place. You had to wind through them just to get inside the hospital. And there was about another 3 or 4 sitting down on the inside and on the chairs where the patients were supposed to sit, just taking up space. But I do understand why. It was nice and hot on the inside, and outside was cold. So
you don't know. Maybe they were really there to get some help. Don't just
no.
stuff.
They were sitting on the chairs where you have to go to see the triage nurse. They were drinking out of that white bottle, very weird smelling stuff. I was wondering what they were having down there. Weird cat this morning.
Okay, but anyway, so then the nurse.
That's how you arrive at this place. I think it could have looked a bit different, and we didn't know really where to go. We're not frequent flyers of the Tauranga Hospital, so we popped into the one window where eventually somebody appeared and then said, "Oh no, we're at the wrong window. Got to go and sit there on the red chairs where these guys were sitting having a nice sip of whatever it was in that bottle." And that's where we waited until the nurse eventually popped up. What they call a triage nurse, something like that. I don't know really what that is all about, but yeah,
she's the nurse that scans you and
she checks you out.
Yeah,
and then I went to and spoke to the nurse and explained to her my problem and what the doctor said and so forth. And she just said, "Well, we're about to declare an emergency, a medical emergency on this hospital. We've got 30 people at least in front of you. We doubt we will even be able to see you today, much more than have an operation on you today." And I just thought, oh my goodness, okay. I do have private health, but they don't work over weekends. So how good was that, by the way? Thought let's do that on the Monday then, and leave the hospital, go home, and Monday try and get through private health into this. I mean, it wasn't an emergency as per se. So, and then certain people said, let's go to the A&E in 2nd Avenue.
Wasn't I the clever one?
You were the clever one there. So we in the car, we picked up the phone, we called the A&E and said, "Hi guys, how busy are you?" They said about 30 minutes to an hour, they said. I said, "All right, can you guys do this?" And describe to them what's wrong. They said they could probably do that. And we turned the car around and went back to the A&E. and we had to pay $100. Yeah, we had to pay $100 just to be admitted there. I know $100 could be a heck of a lot of money for some people, but I think for us it was a good investment. And when we went into the A&E, it was about 30, 40 minutes. Wasn't
Yeah,
that
we
long.
didn't wait that
No,
long,
wasn't
and
that
it was
long.
really professional and very helpful.
And they had a sister down there. She was chatty. She helped us, talked us through everything, and said, probably not going to happen to us, but let's speak to a doctor. We were taken to a doctor, checked me out, and he said what their capabilities are at that stage at the A&E. I'm beyond their capabilities, so I was beyond their help. and then the doctor said, but wait, he'll phone the hospital. I thought, oh my goodness, I've got to go back to the hospital. So we've waited basically half a day just. But anyway, he said he'll phone the hospital. He phoned the hospital, and he said to me he'll give me a piece of paper. He gave me a whole paper or letter, not a paper, a letter stating what's wrong, what he saw, what. And I went back to the emergency department, walked in, gave my letter. And it was basically within 10 minutes from there onwards, I was taken away.
The thing is, you
to the
see,
main
he
hospital.
phoned the surgical department at the hospital, and he told them that you're on your way. So we decided after that, because then when you were in, it was absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah, things just happened. Yeah.
I don't know, it's professional, it's clean. The nurses and everyone there, the doctors are so helpful.
Sorry,
And they
I want to fall over them. Okay.
They really looked after you very well.
The hospital on the inside's got no issues really.
No, it's just the emergency.
Just the emergency part, and the part where you get until you are admitted.
Yeah, then you are fine.
Then you're fine.
So what we what became clear to us is, I don't know how it works in other areas like Auckland or any other part of New Zealand where there are hospitals, but we are lucky enough to have the second A&E. So what we will do in the future is go to A&E and then pay the $100. It's worth it. And then at least you know that they will phone, and then you can just walk straight in. I know that if you go to a GP and they phone the hospital, it works the same. So if it was not a Sunday and you went to the doctor, he could have phoned the hospital as well, and you would have been admitted.
Oh, this is what somebody says as well.
Yes, yeah.
My GP also called ahead, and they were expecting me.
Yeah, they're waiting for you. They know that you're coming. And I mean, you were still in the transfer area.
Yeah.
Not even admitted yet, and the nurse came and he said, "Oh wow, you're going into theatre." So it was just like that. It really happened very fast.
I think my procedure took about 30 minutes. They told me afterwards, and I was the last guy on the list. And I think they just thought, let's stuff his bum up.
No, after that, it really went very, very fast, and you were very impressed with the service that you got.
Yeah, I just want to put this up before I tell them about the service. I was at Tauranga Hospital 6 weeks ago and was diagnosed with pneumonia, had the best experience, and everyone was professional, helpful, and friendly. I can say when I came out of the operating theatre, I was 100% awake. I just asked them if they have told the wife that I'm okay, because I know she will be sitting there
and she
checking
phoned
the policies and stuff.
What was nice is in the area, I don't know what you call that area where you wait before you go into theatre. I don't know, where they prepare you and give you all the medications.
They call it the assessment area.
Oh, okay, that area. So. And I said to the nurse, because I didn't know, I asked her, is he going to have to stay over a night or can he come home or whatever? And she said she doesn't know, but I think it's because she didn't know how big the abscess were. And she said, you can wait if you want to. So I said, where? And they had this lovely area with recliner chairs.
Wine?
No.
So they missed the wine.
And a TV. It still looked like a hospital, but it was very comfortable. Okay. And they came and checked on me every now and again, just asking if I'm still okay. And I waited for a while, and then your nurse phoned me and said he's awake. And she just wanted to tell me that they'll be out soon.
Yeah. And I could say we chatted nicely to each other, myself and the nurse, and then she eventually took me through back to where I was staying the night, which wasn't a hall, or wasn't booked into a specific ward. It's just an area where I was say overnight. And
It's
then,
still in that same assessment
yeah,
area.
and
Yes.
then the next day, so that I can leave the next day. So,
Mm.
and then from there on, I was in the care of a nurse called Holly. And Holly came every 30 minutes to check my blood pressure, every 30 minutes. It's a bit of a noisy area. I'm not complaining now.
All
please don't-
hospitals are
but it
noisy.
was, yeah, that's just how I felt. It was a
Mm.
bit of a noisy area where I was. So I was awake most of the night, and every 30 minutes they checked my blood pressure. And it wasn't a bad experience at all.
Mm.
Yeah. So early in the morning they chucked me out, as I jokingly told them, and sent me off to the transit area, what they call
Transfer.
the transfer area. No, it's a transit area. Transfer wherever.
Anyway,
Okay.
that's where I found you.
Yeah, that's where I went and had to sit down there and wait until they did some dressings on me. And then eventually the doctor came around, and he came around again. And I think he came around a third time just to assert to me that everything is going to be all right. And then the wife could take me. And yeah. So all in all, except the emergency department, I had a very good experience. To be quite frank, I had really a good experience. It's not always a good thing to talk about hospitals. Not a good reason why I normally go down there.
Mm.
But this wasn't a bad experience to me, except I'm still sore. But that's probably not the hospital's fault. So
Yeah. No, I think the experience was really good.
Mm.
And the doctors are very professional. I mean, you saw
Oh, yeah.
everyone. I
Mm.
think it was a good experience.
I mean, the anaesthetist came to see me like he does with every other person, and he was professional. They took me into the operating theatre. I was totally awake by the time they took me into the operating theatre, and it looked great. It gave me the idea of Mediclinic in South Africa. This is government hospital. I'm not talking private hospital. This is government hospital. So
yeah, so I think
not in a bad nick at all.
What we actually want to say is everyone moans about the health system, and I get it, because I know that you can wait for hours. I mean, I've heard of people that waited for 5-6 hours and still didn't receive any help. But I must say, while we were there in the emergency area the first time before we went to A&E, a guy came in with his wife. You could see that she's just had a stroke, young, like 40 maybe.
Yeah,
but you could see that was what's happening. And everyone there, the nurse behind the screen, the one that's on the floor taking everyone's blood pressures and stuff, she left everything right there and she rushed over and she took them straight through. So if you come in there and they can see that it's really an emergency, you will be helped. I can promise you.
What was nice, you had kids in the car, and even a lady that was part of the patient group sitting in the back stood up and said, "Don't worry about your kids. I'll go to your car, get your wife sorted." This lady went off to his car, explained to her where the car was. She went and sat with the kids. And things just happened like this, quick.
So you don't have to worry if there's an emergency. You will be helped when you go to the ER, definitely. And then another thing that I just want to say is you hear that you wait very long and everyone moans about it. But you know what? It's like that in every other country.
Yeah.
It's like that in Canada. I spoke to someone that...
Even to someone in the UK this morning.
They have to wait for 9 months to get something done on their eye or something. So it is not like it's only New Zealand. It's just because when you come from South Africa, you're used to having a medical aid. You're used to everything is just being sorted out for you. But it does not work like that in most of the other countries.
Remember, you don't have a medical aid per se. Here you've got a health insurance. Two total different things in that.
Yeah. But if you have the health insurance and you have to have a big operation or something, then you will get help sooner.
Yeah, definitely.
That is like it is. And then Ilana went to the A&E yesterday or the day before, and she had some bloods taken and they wanted to send her for a scan, but they said that the scan can take up to 10 weeks. That's the waiting period. But she can do it private. So the option is there. You can do it privately and they will help you immediately somewhere else, so at Grace Hospital or whatever. Yeah. So there are options. It's not, I know that it costs money then, but still, you would have paid your medical aid in South
Mm.
Africa. So I don't think it's really that much of a difference. You can just pay
Yeah. My
privately
health
for
cover
whatever.
basically cost me a third of what South African
Yeah.
medical aid cost me. So
Mm.
a bit of a difference down there.
So I just want to say, I don't think you have to worry too much about getting help when an emergency comes your way.
Somebody just asking, Carla asking, do you have medical insurance? We are contemplating getting medical insurance. Carla, just in this case, I do have medical insurance. Medical insurance I can only have used on the next day, which is outside, because the company that's my medical insurance is not open over a weekend. So that's about one bad part of medical insurance. And remember, any emergency will always be treated by government. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. So if he would have found his medical insurance the next day, and then they would have probably confirmed and approved his admission to Grace Hospital or whatever, and they would have done it there immediately. But I mean, he got help immediately anyway, so it's not like he had to wait. Yeah.
No. The big thing is, if you need it, if the emergency is that big that you need immediate medical intervention, it's going to be given to you.
Yeah.
You just need to get to the hospital.
Yeah. So if I can give some advice, I don't know if I'm allowed to, but I spoke to another friend of mine as well. And what you have to do in Tauranga, if it's over a weekend and you can't see your GP and you really need to get some help, go to the A&E, pay your $100, get your referral to the hospital, go there. If it's really an emergency, phone the ambulance and they will come and pick you up and take you straight through. You don't have to go to ER then.
Also to debunk a myth. There's a myth going around. If you call the ambulance, then they are going to put you number one in the queue. It's not like that. While we were standing there, the ambulances arrived with people in the back. And these people were not sick enough to be transferred straight in. They just took the people and put them amongst us.
I think sometimes people, especially like old people, maybe they can't drive to the hospital, so they phone the ambulance. Yeah. So I think they just
it's a service that is offered.
Yes.
But we should not hog the service just because we think we are going to get number one in the queue.
No, that it doesn't work like that. But at least then you are lying down, and they will assess you all the time. Yeah.
So, yeah. The other thing is, if you arrive by helicopter, you're probably in a very sad state. And you go
I don't think you'll have to wait then.
You go straight in. I saw them arrive there. It's just go past everybody else.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the medical system otherwise, like the doctors, how it works and stuff for the people that don't know yet.
So if you arrive in New Zealand, you have to register somewhere with a medical practice. That means you have to go to a doctor's practice and ask them, do you take new clients? And I'd say either say yes or no. If they say yes, they'll give you a form, fill in the form. And if I still remember correctly, this form gets taken to the nurses. You pay an X amount of money, which I don't know exactly how much that is now.
I think it was $80 when we were.
But I mean, it's a while ago already. And the nurse will assess you and ask all these questions. What's your weight? Do you smoke?
She just takes like a history of your health.
So and then you'll also tell her, yes, I've got high cholesterol. I had this problem, had that problem. And from there onwards, you are now registered into the health system. And from there onwards, you can either see the doctor at a set amount. What is week now?
47.
51 now. No, they went up.
Okay.
Inflation. It's just Cinder's fault.
$51 then. But anyway, so you pay for your doctor's visits. I know that some medical insurances, like I know that some of them do pay part of it, not all of them, but some do. And then when you go to the pharmacy, you can go to pharmacies where you don't have to pay for your prescription, like Chemist Warehouse. I know you don't have to pay. And one of the nurses said that Countdown's pharmacy, you also don't pay.
I didn't even know that.
But otherwise, if you just go to a normal pharmacy, you'll pay $5 for each item on your script, which is not bad.
And if you got to use medicine that you got to use permanently, they give you 3 months up ahead, and you'll pay $5 per tablet for the 3 months.
So that's not bad. And I know when when you've collected a few scripts, then in the end you don't have to pay for it. I don't know how many scripts
just
you have to
with
go
Unichem
through
or
in a
something like
year.
that.
But
Somebody's
just,
saying, I have found so many and they are not taking on new clients, not sure who else to find. I've heard that a few. Somebody's saying it's different at each practice.
if you can't register, like Ilana, she only came 3 weeks ago, so she couldn't register. She hasn't registered with the practice yet, but she went to the A&E, and you just have to take your passport and your visa, and they helped her anyway. So you can always do that. So I think in Auckland it's White Cross or something. There's White Cross.
I think it's Green Cross in Auckland as well. I don't know what exactly what are they for. But the laws in New Zealand state, whenever you've got a visa that's 2 years and longer, you are allowed to use government medical. So let's keep that in mind. If you're on a visitor's visa here, it's probably not. That's the same for you. You'll have to use either travel insurance or pay in cash. So,
and now for that surgery that he received, we don't have to pay a cent.
Yeah.
And they are sending a district nurse to our house every day to come and check on his wound and clean it up and dress it. You don't have to pay a cent for that as well. So we really don't have anything to moan about.
We don't have anything to complain about. I'm being quite frank on this. I know that waiting period, that's probably the worst period, because you feel sick and you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I know sometimes the waiting periods doesn't make sense. So in that instance, I think that is when your medical insurance kicks in, so that you just don't have to wait that long. Because you can understand there's 5 million people in New Zealand.
But we do have a shortage of doctors.
We do have a shortage of nurses. We do, so yes.
If you are a nurse and you are a doctor, you're not in New Zealand currently, and you're thinking about moving, we do have a shortage, guys. We really have a shortage here. And I do understand that the payment of these people aren't the best. So that makes the shortage even worse.
We were talking about it while he was in hospital. We were just saying, these people, they all have smiles on their faces. They work so hard. Someone has to advocate for them.
I want to say something. While I was there, they brought in all types of people in there. All types. I've not heard one of those nurses or one of those doctors or one of those orderlies or whatever you call them ever being ugly to anybody.
No.
Not. And one lady was constantly on that little bell. I think she never had a bell before. Ding, ding. And every time they came and they talked to her.
Yeah. No, I think, it gave me some sense of relief.
Yep.
So maybe it was a good thing that you had to go.
Even for such a minor
surgery.
Incident.
Yes.
So, that's our take this morning on hospitals. If you are still worried about hospitals, or if you want to know anything more about health insurance, I do sell health insurance. I'm allowed to talk about that. Get hold of me. I'll give you a breakdown of who I think is good and who I don't think is very good.
Let's just tell them a little bit about that lady that is now in Australia for her surgery.
You've got more info on that. You can go ahead.
I just know that she has to have, I don't know exactly what the surgery is called, but they have to fix, is it a valve on her heart? Or there's a hole in her heart, so they have to fix that. And also they have to wash out her lungs for some reason. She's very young still. There's blood clots in there. So it is a huge operation. And there's no one in New Zealand that can perform that operation. So what the state is doing is they have sent her to a specialist in Australia. And she is actually having her surgery there today in Australia.
Yes, today.
Yeah. So it's her mom and her dad went with her. They are paying for her. I know the state is paying part of it, and is a medical insurance paying for part of it.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
And the state is paying for the housing while they are there. The flights, and she has to be there for months afterwards. For checkups and stuff. So
And
because
rehabilitation, it's going to take
it is going to take a
lot.
long while, but everything is paid for because they can't assist her in New Zealand.
Yeah.
They are willing to pay for you to go somewhere else to have the operation that you need. So that's also good to
most
know.
of reputable health insurance companies. If we got to need this specific operation, it's not available in New Zealand, they'll move you to the next country that can do that. So
Yeah.
there's something, I don't know. I hope you can send me more info on this. Salary changes is coming.
Okay.
Government nurses' salaries was adjusted and looking good.
Oh,
this is good news. This is real good news.
Good news.
I've heard what some of these people are getting paid, and that wasn't good news.
Ridiculous, yeah.
You could earn more opening muscles than doing an emergency work in hospitals. So it's not good.
Yeah, so that's it. Don't know if there's any questions.
And if there's questions,
someone is asking about the children. I am not sure. I know that in some instances, I don't know how it works at hospitals, but I know at the GPs, some of the procedures are
for free.
Quicken for free. I'm not really sure, but we can definitely find out a little bit about the children.
And somebody's missing Francois Hoog. Francois, I hope they found you now. So yeah, guys, it's going to hospital is not always the nicest part of your day. So, but I gotta say that the emergency room, if you can just negotiate around that from there onwards, it's plain sailing. I could not see anything in the hospital that was lacking.
No.
To be quite frank, there was more than enough. And when I left, they gave me dressings and stacks of stuff.
I'm not lying, like this, full of dressings and pads and plasters and I don't know whatever.
And oh my goodness, yeah.
So no, it was really good.
I think this is somebody that's got a kid. They say kids
below 14,
it's probably medical. Kids below 14 is medical free.
Okay.
We don't have kids under 14, I promise you.
But I know that something like that is.
Yeah, I've heard that they're looking well after them. Even up to a certain point, they do their teeth as well, but up to a certain age. So that's another expensive thing in New Zealand.
Yeah, it is expensive. And the medical cover doesn't really. Some pay for it, some don't, but you don't get that much cover. Yeah, I don't know. You just have to save when you want to go to the dentist.
I want to say something. Okay, this may be very naughty of me, and I know it's only got 3 minutes left. So, when the doctors came around to do their rounds in South Africa, you've got this doctor, and then all these nurses faff around him. It's not here.
He's on his own.
He comes around and he chats to you. And he says this, and he goes on. And then he comes back with the nurse and says, "Doesn't this must happen yet?" And then he goes, "There's no faffing or." I always thought this, geez, it's like the Pope coming on when the doctor comes on
This is the one thing in New Zealand. No job is glamorous.
Yep.
You are just a person. They also come around and they'll say like, I'm Nathan, I'm one of the doctors. It's not like I'm Dr. Whatever. I am one of the doctors and my name is Nathan. It's the way that they introduce themselves. So it's really good.
Yeah. Especially when they say when they don't use the doctor thing, they just say, "I'm Nathan. I'm going to operate on you today." So I hope you're the doctor, mate. I hope you're the doctor. All right. On that note, let's say goodbye to the people. Yeah.
Enjoy your day. It's a rainy, cold day.
It's a miserable rainy day, guys. Be out on the roads. Drive safely. Keep your distances. All right. You don't want to end up in hospital. Okay.
Bye.
Thanks. Yeah. Bye.